So what we're looking at today is how to do a ground plan and a section drawing. This all assumes that you have your Vectorworks done. Okay. That said, you actually don't have to be totally done because we're going to use, like we did when we were looking at some other things, we're going to use sheet layers. So I'm going to open a drawing. And I will open we'll do 36 views. Okay, that's fine. Okay. So this is an old drawing I've done of an older show. And it's going to take a moment to render here. What we need to do is we're going to go to our main drawing area and go to a top view, and I apparently have like everything turned off. Yes, I do. Okay, I need my building turned on. I don't need my lighting turned on. And that we need on for the show. Furniture, legs I said you need to have on. Borders, I'm going to turn my borders on in gray. So if you use the gray eyeball, they show up. So here's a border. You can see it's in gray. It's lighter weight. Okay. That needs, whoops. Nope, that does not need to be on. You don't necessarily need people in this stuff, although you can. Okay, so here is my ground plan. Okay, looks like a ground plan. Looks like a perfectly reasonable ground plan. I'm missing something. Where are my towers? There they are. Okay. So this looks like a nice, reasonable ground plan. When you have this looking the way you want it to look in here, you are going to go View, Create Viewport. And viewport name, you can call it whatever you want. I'm going to call this ground plan. Create on layer. I want a new sheet layer. I'm going to call my sheet layer ground plan. If there are multiple things labeled ground plan or something, you can call it something like Chris grade this. Okay? Because I'm going to have to look, this is something I'm going to look at in your file. So please make sure it's something that's like, okay, that's what you want me to grade. If I have to go searching for it, you know, you run the risk that I go, oh, that looks like what they want me to grade, and then grading the wrong thing. Okay? Okay, and I'm going to say, okay, come down here. Assuming you have the drawing set to look exactly the way you want, your classes and layers, it's going to suck in exactly the way they are now. So assuming that's what you want, you're good to go. Scale, 1/4 inch is what you're required to do. So make sure 1/4 inch is selected. View, you're doing a ground plan, so you want to do a top plan view, right? Rendering, wireframe should be fine. And projection is a 2D plan. Click OK. Okay. Couple of things we're now going to look at here, and what I want you to show you is here is our viewport we're looking at. So this is a picture. This is not my drawing anymore. Okay. This is a picture of my drawing. And here is the paper. Anyone see a problem? Small. The paper is too small, so we're going to change it. Okay? And yes, you're going to have to get this set right, or your borders aren't going to work as easily as they can. So you're going to go to Page Setup. Okay? You're going to say choose a size unavailable in printer. Okay? When you go to print, when I go to print blueprints, I have to go somewhere else. I can't print them on campus. Okay, I go up to a company called Fresno Repro Graphics because they're the one I can find that has decent prices. Okay, I used to use a place called Airport Blueprint because it was right around the corner from campus, but they're now a furniture store. Okay, so what size do you need to use? It's whatever size fits. It's whatever size you feel is right. So you're going to try some. I'm going to try US Architecture C. ASME is, those tend to be scientific and engineering drawings. The A in ASME is association and E is engineering, and I forget what the two letters in the middle are. But weird architecture drawings. I'm going to just say US, United States Architecture C. We're going to try that, and we're going to say, okay, oh, look. Now look, this comfortably fits on my piece of paper. Okay, see that? My piece of paper is now big enough. Excellent. What I want this to do is I want to put this drawing in the right spot. Okay, sure, that looks like the right spot. That works for me. Okay, if you have parts of this that you want to cut off for some reason, okay, we looked at this last time we were doing this. You can edit the crop and draw a box around things in case you're afraid that, oh, I might draw something on the drawing to the side later. So I'm going to actually set up my crop so that I include just that, nothing else. Okay, and exit crop, and now I'm going to have just that. Okay, and oh yes, let's look. This has platforming on it. Who has platforming on their set? Some of you have platforming on their set. Okay, well, this platform happens to be 8 inches tall. I need to label that, don't I? So I'm going to do a right click or a control click. And you have to zoom out far enough that it knows you're trying to edit my annotations. So the way we do this is it's a circle. Draw a circle here. And inside it, I'm going to use my text tool to say plus 8 inches. Okay, go back to my arrow key, and I'm going to get that centered nicely. And I'm going to move this and this so it's right in the middle. And excellent. So there is my platform. Oh, look, I've got another platform back here. That one is 16 inches tall. So I'm going to draw, again, a circle. Actually, what I'm going to do, I'm going to make this even easier on myself. I'm going to copy and paste. I'm just going to change this to say 16 inches. Okay, and why don't I make it say 1 foot 4 inches? Because platforms are always in inches. Okay, I didn't make that rule, but that's the rule. Okay, I exit my viewport annotation. Okay, and now remember the cool thing about this is I have not. If I go back to my drawing, that 16 and 8 is not there. That's just on my picture. But if I move my picture around, they move with it. Very convenient. Okay. So if you need to draw that on a staircase, if there's any other note that you need to put on here, like flips around or whatever you need, that's how you do it. Okay. I now need to put a border on this. Okay. To do a border, I am going to go to Window, Palettes, Tool Sets, and on the one that looks like the pencil and the ruler, which is my dims and notes, I'm going to scroll down here till I get to a sheet border. Okay, here is why I have to get my paper size right, because my sheet border is going to be the right size for my piece of paper. I drag this over. I can click anywhere because it's going to automatically snap to the edge of my paper. Isn't that cool? Look, I have done a border around my drawing. Okay, I told you I had to have a border. Okay, how long did that take me to put in? Seconds. Okay, now we need a title block. Okay, title block, once your border is in, oh my gosh, look, there's a title block button here. Right here. So we're going to click the title block button. Okay, and it says pick one. So go to the symbols, click the drop-down menu, and oh my gosh, there's tons of title blocks in here. Choose the one you like. Okay, Spotlight. Spotlight is the Vectorworks name for theater package, so the Spotlight title block's probably good. And look, there's 2 of them. Choose whichever one you like. I don't care. Okay, you can actually choose any of those title blocks that seem to work for you. I click OK. Hey, where'd it go? Title block. Select. Okay. Select the border you've put into the drawing. Why are you being all weird? Let me start my computer again. Okay. Title block. Okay. I've never had this happen.
It's on the outside of it.
It's on the outside of it?
Yeah, minimize.
Title block. Do I need to say view it? Or it's on a class I can't see. Let me see something. Nope. Border settings. Title block position. I have never had this happen before. Okay, we're going to just start over. Go away. I'm going to put a title block in. And be on the title block. Sheet border. Sheet border. Title block. Okay, you know what? It is there. I see it. It's the X. Let's try a different title block. Yeah, do you guys see this X right here? That's the title block. That's its notation of where it goes. But it's not displaying the frickin' title block. Let's see if I edit the title block. Okay, so once you select the title block, you've got to edit it. Got to put your show name in. No, I don't like this title block. I have never ever had this happen to me. Okay, this is an old file. Let me open. Hat, do you mind if I use your Vectorworks file?
Go ahead.
Okay. Quickly start over. View, create viewport. Sheet layer. Austin. Plan. Okay, I'm going to set my page size. Huh?
I just realized that there's an arch on the back of the.
Oh, that's fine. Again, the cool thing is, just want to show you guys with the viewports, if I go back to here, if I go back to my drawing, it's not showing up. You could just crop that out if you wanted. Okay, and I'm going to go put the border around it. I'm going to try this again. And title block. There it is. Now you guys see the title block created. If any of you are having problems with this, please let me know because I will help you. Okay? So I have to edit my title block, come down to edit title block, and it's going to say show name. So this is bitter cold. Reference, sometimes they say reference, sometimes they say scale. So reference, it's 1/4 inch, 1/4 inch. Oops, inch equals 1 foot dash 0 inches. Drawn by hat. Date 05/04/2015. File name Austin Cole.vwx. Okay. Some title blocks, this is a simple one. Some of them will have things where it'll say sheet versus show or project. Check both. If there's multiple tabs, make sure you check both tabs and make sure that they're what you want them to see. Now this does not say what it is, so actually I need to go back and bitter cold ground plan. Okay? And that's there, and you go, and you can look at this, and you can say, you know what, that interferes with my set. Maybe I need to make my page bigger. Page setup. Let's go to RHC. Okay. And unfortunately, let's see if I can edit this. Lock to page center. Change that to RHC. Okay, that looks better, right? Okay. Now, a couple of other things I might want to put on here are some dimensions, right? So I can do that by control-clicking on my viewport. And that is an annotation. And so I can come in here and I can use my dimension tool and say, okay, I need an unconstrained dimension, so I need to do... And what's cool about this is it's snapping to your drawing, although it's not actually on your drawing. Okay, and look, I just put in dimensions. Okay, and you can put them in however you want and whatever dimensions you want to put in. I need you to put one dimension somewhere on your drawing, so you can show me you know how to do it. That's it. Okay, but what I want to show you is this says the dimension is 24 feet 8 3/4 inches. Okay, that's probably right. Now let's say that you somehow screwed up while you were drafting this, and what you really want this to be is 24 feet 9 inches. Okay, somewhere along the line you screwed up. Okay, I want to show you this. You can click on this, and you come over here to where it says length and your object info. 24 feet 9 inches. Okay, I have just lied in the computer. You now have the power to make the computer look like it's fallible. Do not use that power unwisely. Okay? Yes. Frequently this happens because if you're doing something at a funky angle, you get it all drafted, and it turns out to be 24 feet 9.777772 inches, and you really want it to be 2710. That's when it's good to use it, okay? I recommend never fudging more than 1/4 inch, okay? Okay, that looks great. Now what I want to show you is why you have to be in the edit crop or edit annotations, because if I now run the dimension, which I can do out here, okay, I'm going to run this dimension again. Oops, I'm going to do an unconstrained. Okay, let's zoom in. Okay, Same dimension, right? The one I just did says it's 6 1/4 inches, not 24 feet 9 inches. Why is that? Why is that only say 6 1/4 inches? It's not in scale because I didn't do it inside the viewport. I did it on top of the viewport. I did it on the page. That's only 6 1/4 inches on the page. It's we're in 1/4 inch scale, so it's 1/4 is, okay? So that's why we need to be using the edit annotations when we're going to put dimensions in our viewports, okay? Because otherwise they're on the paper and I just measure that line that it's going to measure out at 6 1/4 inches, which is useful to nobody, okay? Okay, so we've done our viewport, we've put our border on it, we've done this, so we now need to do a section drawing, okay? Section drawing, we're going to go back to our main set, okay? Section drawing. Okay, section drawings need to be along the center line. Now this is kind of weird because in the black box and an L-shaped seating we don't really have a center line. But I am going to draw this line in here just for a moment so I have my center line. And I'm going to go View, Create Section Viewport. Okay? And I'm going to now just trace my center line. Okay? And do I want to look at this? The big arrow is pointing the way I want to look. So if I click now, I'm going to look to the left. If I move this, I'm going to look to the right. Which side do I want to look for this set? Left. Why? Because where all the interesting stuff is. So I say click that. One more click. Okay. Create on layer. I want to call that new sheet layer, and I'm going to call this Austin's section. Austin's section. One. Okay. And layers and classes, this is the way I want it set up. Scale 1/4 inch. Rendering, hidden line. It needs to be hidden line, right? Because we're doing a section drawing. We don't want to see through walls, right? Okay. And by the way, it's going to default hidden line because it knows what you're doing. Okay. And we're going to click OK. We come over here and look at that. We have a section drawing. We have cut through. Look, here's our catwalk. Here's our seating. Here's our everything. Okay?
Where's my entrance?
This is where I was helping you do the rake.
Oh.
This is an old file.
Okay.
Okay? So, a couple things. We need to change our paper size again. Page setup. Choose something and we'll do Arch C again because we know it's going to fit because that's huge. Okay. In this case, I would probably not actually do an architecture C because that's really freaking big, isn't it? You can go do architecture B if you want. Need to put a border on this. Okay. Border. Okay, and it needs a title block. And I'm going to do one of the more complicated ones, see if one of the more complicated ones is going to work this time. And it worked this time. Yippee skippy. Where I need to edit our title. Whoops. We'll see. To edit our title block. Oops. Edit our title block. Okay, this has project and sheet. So the cool thing about project is if you use the same title block on all of them and it has project tab and a sheet tab, the project information will fill in on every title block. You change it one place as long as you have apply. So I can change my director to Mel Gibson. Actually, who directed Bitter Cold? Cat E. I'm not putting her last name in. Bitter Cold as part of Teasers 2015. Venue designed by Pat. We're going to ultimately 2 sheets, and it's austincold.vwx. And then on the sheet, I can say, okay, it's sheet number 2. This is my section drawing, and sheet's only going to apply to this page. Section drawing, center line of large audience. I don't need anything there. 1/4 inch. Equals 1 foot dash 0 inches, drawn by Chris Bolts on May the 4th. And I click OK, and we look down at my title block, and oh, look, it has filled in all that information. Isn't that cool? Okay. I do want to show you what's going to happen. What I can do with this is if I come back over here to Austin's ground plan, and I say, you know what, I want to use the more complicated title block because it just looks cooler. Click OK, and you'll notice that it has already filled in everything from the show. So bitter cold as part of teasers. I just need to edit the sheet information. So this is sheet 1, and it's a ground plan of awesomeness. And it's in 1/4 inch scale. Drawn by Chris on May the 4th. Okay. And, okay, see how that works? Okay, section drawing, all in all, minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes. Okay, so you guys can now do a plan view, a plan drawing, and a section drawing, and just please make sure they're named something I want them, that it's easy for me to see. If there are things in there you don't want, click over here, and if you go to sheet layers, so light plot. Okay, Austin doesn't need a light plot, so he can come in here and he can just delete that sheet layer. Yes. And there's no steps, so we can delete that. Okay, so if you want to delete all the ones that are in there that you don't want, you can go ahead and do that. Okay? And that makes it really easy for me to figure out what it is I'm supposed to grade for you. Okay? Okay, questions? Comments? Question?
Just want to help on the lab. That's all.
Well, I'll be in the lab after this, okay? Break time for 10 minutes.